morning, bird brains. Out on the Sportster today. And today we're going to be answering the questions that you guys asked the last time I was on the Sportster. And we did a little Q&A session. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Also, I'm going to be doing like neighborhood cruising right now because it's like one of the only places I can go right now to where we're not going to be sitting in traffic. Alright, so let's go. The Specter 223 asked, since you sold your Trans Am, do you miss having a performance car? If you were going to replace it with something, what would it be? Great question. Do I miss the Trans Am? I don't miss the Trans Am specifically. I do sort of kind of miss having a fast car. Now, at first, I didn't miss it at all. I think the bikes kind of just replaced that feeling and everything, but as the time goes on and it gets further and further away from the time that I sold it, I do feel myself getting that itch, that I want a fast car again itch. I don't think I'll jump on it anytime soon. Reason being, and this will answer the second part of your question, is if I was to get another quote-unquote fast car, I would want it to be something pretty, I'm not going to say pretty fast as in like, 600 horsepower, but I would want probably something modern muscle, like a 5th gen or 6th gen Camaro. Probably already has all the work done to it, like headers, exhaust, maybe a cam. I just want something that I can go and have fun with. I don't want to have to worry about building the car up to something that I want. I want to just be able to like a turnkey, basically.
Next question.
T Dunbar 79 had a couple questions. The first one was, what is the average time you spend editing per episode? Has that changed over time, or has it always been pretty consistent? Another great question. How long does it take me to edit? It varies a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. It really varies depending on what type of video I'm doing. For example, the shortest videos I do are just your general solo vlogs, motovlogs, just riding around talking. Those I've gotten so quick at them that I can usually get them from start to finish under an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long I recorded for. But that can go up to and exceeding a couple days. That's cool. I wasn't going or anything. Videos like the build series take a while. The dual vlogs, the group rides, those take dual vlogs, just like 2 people. I can usually get them done in 8 to 12 hours. Group rides, like the latest one I put out, the Canyon Lake, where we had 4 audio. Man, I think I probably put 20 to 24 hours into that video. And that's just video. That's not including exporting. That's not including making the thumbnail. That's not including typing in the information. That's just start to finish, just editing. And then you got kind of your in-between, like the how-tos and stuff like that. Those usually take between 4 and 8 hours, depending on the shots and things like that. Does it vary over time? It does. It has gotten quicker. I mean, just the same with everything else. Practice makes perfect. Definitely having the faster computer has definitely helped with that as well.
Next question.
T Dunbar's second question. Is a dual motovlog with Blockhead happening? That's... I know everybody really wants that, and trust me, no one wants it more than I do, but I would say it's in the works. It's just not in the solid works, just based on the fact that, plane tickets and stuff are expensive. And another big thing is I don't want to take a vacation just to go motovlog. I mean, if I had the money and, resources, absolutely I would do that. But if I'm going to go to Orlando, I'm going to go to Orlando for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I want to do Universal Studios. Miss Bike and Bird really wants to go do Disney and all that kind of stuff, so it wouldn't be just a a cheap trip. It would be pretty expensive. But we have talked about it. We have mentioned it a couple times, and I will say, if I ever make it over to Florida, it's going to happen. Like, it will definitely happen. The trick is just getting me to Florida.
Next question.
T Dunbar's third question. How did you acquire your video editing skills? Trial and error, books, YouTube, school, friends, ... I have actually been editing videos since I was 10 or 11, pretty much. I mean, as soon as the technology to edit on a computer was available, I was doing it. Not anywhere to the point where I am now, but in some form or fashion. I mean, I started off making still animations. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw that video up right now because I know I have it somewhere. This was one of the first videos that I put on YouTube. Started off on Windows Movie Maker making stop animation cartoons or videos with M&M's. And that was when I was 5th or 6th grade. Ever since then, in high school or junior high, I took a couple classes. Nothing major. I'd pretty much known everything by that point, but it was just kind of fine-tuning the skills. And then I still learn stuff to this day. I mean, there's always, you'll never know everything. I'm still constantly Googling and looking up on YouTube different tips and tricks to either get things done better or get things done faster.
Next question.
Wet Banana Moto asked, since being a ginger, just how many souls have you stole over the years? That question is kind of like asking a magician to reveal his secrets, so yeah, you're not getting an answer for that one.
Next question.
Julio Salotti asked, would you like to build your own bike from 0 to 100? If you're talking about like from raw materials into a bike, no. I mean, maybe at some point in like the long future. I have all of the skills to do it. I know how to weld, I know how to grind, I know how to cut. I have all of the abilities to do it, but the tools in order to be able to do that is ridiculously expensive. If you're a fan of Do It With Dan's channel, he recently just went out and bought all the tools, and my jaw dropped when he was just buying these tools left and right, but he's got the money to do that, and those tools make him money by making those videos. If I was in a spot to do that, hell yeah, I would do it, just because, you know, I'd have the time and the money to do that. But for right now, I wouldn't like to do a from scratch build. I would, however, like to do some sort of a frame up build, like just kind of start from a frame, maybe have a motor already in it, and then just kind of go from there, be able to chop up the tins and stuff as I please. That would be kind of cool. It would still require a lot of tools I don't have, but it would be nearly the expense as a ground up build would be.
Next question.
Duckhead Moto asked, two-part question. Money is not an issue. 1, you are allowed 3 4-wheeled vehicles. What cars/trucks would your dream garage have in it? Second part, you are allowed 3 2-wheeled vehicles. What motorcycles would your dream garage have in it? Oh, this is a hard one. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with the cars/trucks first. I'm going to take this question as these are the only 3 vehicles I can have, like, ever, basically. God damn it, I just keep finding cul-de-sacs and dead ends, huh? Sounds about right. So for the cars, I would want, of course, a C5 Z06 Corvette, fully built, you know, the works. I'd also want some sort of truck, probably something like a big diesel of some sort, probably a Chevy Duramax 2500, you know, just something that I could tow stuff with. And then the third car for my daily driver, that's a tough one. I'd probably want like an AMG Mercedes, like an AMG Black. I think that would be a great daily driver. As far as motorcycles go, once again, I'm considering this to be, these are the only motorcycles I can have. I want something I could go cross country with, so I would definitely want probably a Road Glide Special. I think it's a special or custom. The all black one, or the CVO, the Road Glide CVO. The new one with the that Battleship Gray, that thing is gorgeous. So that'd be my cross-country rig. I'd also want something to do off-road, so probably like, I mean, hell, if I'm going off-road, I might as well go full motocross bike, like a CRF 450R. That would be nice. And then I'm assuming these are outside of my Harleys as well, so considering I'm keeping both the Dyna and the Sportster. I'd probably want something to go fast on, like a track bike, probably like an R6 or an R1, something just completely track specific.
Next question.
Voltage Vapes Bristol asked, I also ride a Dyna Street Bob, and I was wondering, how do you combat rust and erosion and that sort of thing? This is a simple question. I live in Texas. I mean, I know it sounds sarcastic, but really, we have 0 issues, at least here in Central Texas. We're 3.5, 4 hours from the nearest coast. We have 0 issue with any sort of rust or erosion or anything of that nature. I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to that. Every time I go up north to Iowa, I see all these cars just getting eaten alive, and it just blows my mind of how damaged these cars can get just from rust, man. Like, it eats through the quarter panels and the fenders and everything. It's nuts.
Next question.
Andrew Peters asked, when you did the ignition relocation on the Sportster, where did you move the horn to? I didn't have to move the horn. On the Sportsters, or at least the 883, they don't have the side-mounted horn like the Dynas do. The horn is actually down here, right behind the front wheel. Right here. Right there is where the horn is. So I didn't have to move anything.
Next question.
Darea Gon asked, did you ever consider getting an off-road capable bike? If so, what kind / brand? Absolutely. I mean, I love riding off-road. I've mentioned that many a times. I would love to get an off-road capable bike. The problem with off-road capable bikes, so I'm going to go through kind of the three spectrums. So off-road capable, you could look at it different ways. I'm thinking you could look at it as like the BMW G Series bikes. That's off-road capable. You could look at, like I said earlier, like a full race bike, like a CRF 450R. That's off-road capable. And then something like your supermotos. That's off-road capable. The problem with all three of those bikes is I don't like riding off-road alone. Not only is it boring and not as fun as riding in a group, but it's also very dangerous. That's actually a big reason why I kind of ditched the supermoto plans, is because as fun as they are to, go and hoon and everything, it's just not fun by yourself. And none of my friends or anybody that I know ride supermotos here locally. So I'd pretty much just be by myself, and I didn't want to do that. So until I get some more friends that have supermotos and can ride off-road and things like that, I'll probably put the off-road capable bike plans on hold.
Next question.
Hanley B asked, I don't know if you answered this already, but how do you come up with the name Bikin' Bird and what's it mean? I have answered this question before, but I also think that it's very important to keep touching on the name, just because, I mean, it's been at least 1,000 subscribers since I had my last Q&A, probably since the last time that I answered this question. Bikin' Bird actually stemmed from my Trans Am. Trans Am is a Firebird. I was originally going to make it like a bike/car channel, because no one had really done like a motovlogging/car channel at the time. Now pretty much everyone does that, but at the time that I came up with a name, there wasn't a lot of people doing it, if any at all. But after, focused so much on the bikes, and I was having so much more fun on the bikes, I decided to sell the car, which kind of makes the channel name not really work anymore, but that's where it stemmed from, and I think it's very unique, and it provides great alliteration. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's like bike in bird. You got the two B's, or like bed in breakfast, or bad in bed. What's some other? I'm trying to think of some other like famous things that do it. Like all the jingles, like click it or ticket. Not so much rhyming, but kind of flowing off the tongue a little better.
Next question.
Kelly F asked 2 questions. What is the worst drop you have ever had? And what are your thoughts on the Honda Rebel reboot? So, knock on wood, I actually have not had a drop on the street. Now, on the dirt, I could, yeah, about that. Since that answer is boring, I'll tell you about my worst dirt accident. But first, I need to go get petrol. Oh man, look at this thing. Oh, actually, this is the same one I took a picture of the other day. It's got 3 rear spoilers. Need that down for us, bro. My worst accident on dirt was actually the accident that caused me to no longer race motocross. Long story short, I was prepping for an event. I was going hard on one of the tracks in my hometown. It wasn't really a track, it was just more of just like a clearing out in some mountains. Wasn't prepped or anything, but they had a pretty big double that was about the size of the double at the event that I was going to. Decided to go as fast as I could and around the track, and I was doing pretty well, but I was like, I can go faster. So pushed myself just a little too hard, came off this double way too fast. I ended up completely clearing the double, landing in the flat, which wasn't really much of a flat because it kind of landed and then went straight into a downward slope. So kind of hit the flat, went off the track. After I hit the track, there was a mesquite bush right in front of me, which for those of you who aren't familiar, have a very large, sharp claws on them. So gripped the front brake, gripped way too much front brake. The bike washed out this way. No, it washed out the other way. It washed out down like that. As it washed down like that, my right foot was stuck underneath the bike. Imagine your legs usually like this, came down, and the top of my foot and my shin were basically in line, which hyperextended my ankle, caused me a great amount of pain, went through the mesquite bush, tore my back to shreds. I actually still have scars on it to this day. God damn, look at this house. Son of a bitch. I did get knocked unconscious, but there was a slight lapse in memory from when I hit my head. I just remember waking up, the taste of dirt in my mouth, and I was face first down the ground. Thankfully, I mean, I usually didn't do this, but I had my buddy out there with me, and he was able to run over and call for help. But yeah, after that day, I just wasn't able to really ride like I wanted to ride anymore, and that just made me want to just stop really, riding hard, I guess. Like, I still rode for a little bit, but I didn't do any events or races or anything like that. But yeah, that's my dirt crash. I don't know if I've ever told that story on the channel before. Moving on to the second part of the question, what do I think about the Honda Rebel reboot? I think it's awesome. Now, everyone's going to say it was clearly a Sportster, a shot at the Harley Sportster, but there's only so much you can do to bikes before it looks like you're ripping somebody else off. I don't think that Honda looked at the Sportster and was like, oh, this bike is selling well, let's rip them off. No, I don't think that was it at all. I think they just kind of took their own spin on the Rebel, and I saw some of the custom Rebels they had out at the MotoGP race, and they looked pretty freaking awesome. So the possibilities of what you can do with them are pretty endless.
Next question.
Bishop Kid asked, what exhaust do you have on?
On the Sportster, I have the Vance & Hines Short Shots full system, and then on the Dyna, I believe they're the Short Shot slip-ons, or they might be. I think they're the Straight Shot slip-ons. Yeah, but yeah, they're both Vance & Hines. Both sound really good in my opinion. We'll probably go with another Vance & Hines set for the Dyna, but a full system.
Next question.
Torino Brent asked, hey man, do you like muscle cars? LOL. And what one is your favorite if you do?
Going back to my answer earlier, I really do like muscle cars. I like them better than imports. I don't dislike imports, but if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick muscle cars. Really a fan of the new muscle, but if I could only pick one car, it'd have to be probably either a... Ah, man, that's a tough one. I really like the 65 GTOs, so that would probably be up on the list. Up on the list as well would be an Oldsmobile 442 or a Chevelle. I mean, three classics. I know they're not outlandish or anything, but those would be my favorite. But I know you said pick one, but it's my video. I do what I want.
Next question.
Classic Vision asked, when is Miss Bike and Bird getting to drive Mia?
Not anytime soon. Mainly because, well, other than the fact that she's a completely new rider and has zero riding experience, I'm not going to let her just jump on my custom bike. But mainly because she can't reach on the Sportster. She could barely tiptoe it before I put the air shocks on it, but now with the air shocks, they were an inch bigger than stock. She can't even tiptoe them anymore. Maybe with some big ass platform heels or something like that she could, but as of right now, she cannot stand this bike up. But she should be getting her own bike very shortly. That is still a thing. I'm going to say probably within a month of you seeing this video, she'll have her own bike. So very excited about that. That's going to bring a whole new dynamic to the channel.
Next question.
Taz Rides asked, do you and Blockhead call each other the night before to plan outfits for the next day? When's the wedding?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We really don't need it because we both wear mostly black anyways. it usually works out. With that being said, we haven't set an exact date yet, but it'll probably be sometime around Halloween. That way the black will kind of fit in. We're still debating on who gets to wear the dress, though. I said since I'm taller, I should get to wear the dress, but he said since I'm taller that he should get to wear the dress, but I don't know. Maybe we'll flip for it.
Next question.
Boogeyman0330 asked, how has becoming a YouTuber changed your life, both good and bad?
It's changed my life quite a bit, to be honest. Mostly for the good, some for the bad. Just some key points. It really allows me like an outlet to really be myself. I know that sounds super cheesy and super corny, but you can ask Team Bradley. Like, I have very bad social anxiety, which is hilarious. Probably, I'm assuming it's hilarious if you watch the channel and you kind of know my personality on the videos. But in like a crowd of strangers, I am one of the quietest, just most reserved people out there. I'm quite the introvert, actually, but it gives me kind of a venture to kind of become an outrovert and become more social and kind of combat my social anxiety a little bit. Like when I'm just Justin in a crowd of people, a crowd of strangers, I can't really be myself until I get about 4 shots of Jaeger in me. But if I'm Biking Bird in a crowd full of bikers or motorcycle enthusiasts, I can definitely be myself more quickly without, liquid courage. Also, it just keeps me busy. Another positive is it keeps me busy. I'm the type that I have to be constantly going. I have to be constantly working, thinking of something, have projects and things like that. So with, a full-time job and a online business and a YouTube channel, I'm pretty much going 24/7 whether I want to or not. So it really keeps me busy, really keeps my brain pumping, and that's probably one of my favorite things about it. But that can also be a negative. Sometimes when I want to shut my brain down and I want to, relax, it's a little bit harder to kind of get away when I'm constantly thinking like, oh, I need to go edit this, or I need to go record this in order to get this video out. And a big negative of that is it has caused some speed bumps in my personal life. Like my relationship with Miss Bird has had some speed bumps in it here and there with the channel, but with her being as awesome as she is and us being as strong of a couple as we are, we were able to work through it, and it's going really good right now. I think we've finally started to find the groove of making both the channel and our relationship work very well. Well, guys, I know this one is probably very long. It's probably a two-parter. Who knows? Speaking of that, what do you guys like as the optimal video duration? I don't like my videos to go over 15 minutes. If they go over 15 minutes, I usually split it into 2 videos, even if that is 2 8-minute videos. Would you guys rather have a 20, 25, 30-minute video, or would you guys rather have a part 1, part 2, each of those being 10 to 15 minutes long? Let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll change how I do that depending on what the general populace likes. But with that being said, guys, that is the end of the questions. I am releasing or re-releasing the Bird Brain hoodies. Now that it is starting to get cold again, I'll go ahead and, as always, I'll put a specific link to the exact hoodies down in the description. I might do like a sale on them or something like that. I don't know if I even have the ability to do that. If I do, I'll go ahead and set a sale for, let's say 15% off. They're already pretty cheap. I like to keep my stuff as cheap as possible just to be able to make it affordable to you guys. I know most people that watch my channel are probably blue-collar workers just like myself, so try to keep everything affordable and available. But to go ahead, click down the link, get yourself a Biking Bird hoodie. They got the big Biking Bird logo on the back. They're really nice. They're actually very comfortable. I have 2, I think, and Miss Biking Bird has one. Miss Biking Bird's mom has one. She wears it all the time, and she lives up north, so she can vouch for its its warmness. Well, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.